Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. You know I'm Steve, and this is Earl. Nope, that's not Earl. That's, I don't know who that is. She snuck in here overnight, and we got the chief behind me. So, another beautiful day here in Western Mass. It is like 55 degrees or so, and it's cooled down. We're finally into fall. It's, I think today is the 9th or 10th of October, and in my last video, you saw I had painted the running boards, the front fenders, and the fender skirts. And today I'm going to give you a little view of how the car is looking with the front fenders and running boards on. And I'm doing a little buffing, so I'm just going to do a little tutorial on what I'm doing with that. And we painted this with all single stage urethane. And all the black anyway, and that's it. There's no clear coat on it. It's just single stage. It's got high gloss, and of course I'm not painting in a spray booth, so there's some dust in it and a little bit of orange peel, and typical problems you have when you paint in an environment that's not exactly the cleanest. And although I did clean it out and blew out the floor, and you try to make it as best you can, but it's just the nature of the beast. Paint seems to attract anything. Even if there's a bug flying around, they fly right to the paint. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it just is what it is. So let me show you what's going on, and we'll move forward from there. All right. So hope everyone's having a great day. By the way, 539 people now have subscribed to us, and having a lot of fun. So thank you for all the great comments. Thank you for the subscriptions. New people watching. We have a lot of we're getting 10,000 views a week. If you're taking a look at this video, please subscribe, like, share it. It'll help me out. If you can, that'd be great. And I appreciate all the good comments. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. So I actually nothing's bolted on, but I just put on some fender, and the rear skirt has one center bolt, and then we have the running board here, and this is the front fender. And I did have a spot where a drop of water fell off of my head right onto the fender. You can see it right there. So I've got to sand that out, reprime it, and paint it. And this fender I had sanded down with 1,000 grit, then 1,500 grit, and then 3,000 grit. And then I buffed it with 6 variations of foam pad and 4 variations of what am I trying to say? Shit. Wait a minute. Anyway, we'll get to that point. So these are pads. There's a green one here that's on the sander over there. It goes green, yellow, blue, pink, and then orange. And this is the final polish, So you get a nice finish on there. It still has a little bit more polishing to do, but it looks pretty good from being sanded down. So what I'm trying to say is these are compounds, and this is from Chemical Guys. I'm not advertising for them, but they have great reviews, and I've used it and have had good luck. So this is the heaviest grit here, second grit here that you go on, and then this is the cutting and polishing for the paint. This is the 3rd application, and this is your 4th application, which is final polish. So here is my running board, and I did have some issues right up in here, and I've still got a couple odds and end pieces, but I'm not going to worry about it. It is a running board, and we're going for the 20s and 30s look, and it's going to look just great when we're done. So I want to show you how we're going to buff that out. to make it look as shiny as the other end here. So what I did first is I took a 1500 grit and I used power only. I didn't use any water. I just dry sanded it with a 1500 grit, and then I ended with a 3000 grit. This is 3000 here. It just, barely has any, you run your hand across it, doesn't feel like anything. So 3000 grit to finish off, and then now we're going to buff that out. Another little section here. This is, like I said, 3000 grit. So let me put the camera in the holder and we'll show you a couple things there. So there's a sneak preview of the car. I think it looks pretty darn cool. The color combo, and getting real excited about it. So hang on a second. So I set the camera up behind me so I can work and show you what's happening. I'm going to take this 3000 grit off and put, see, 3000, and put 1500 grit paper on. This is actually almost like plastic. It's like barely, you feel it and you're like, what? It doesn't feel like anything. I'm going to take an older towel here, clean that off. I'm going to hit this spot right here again. Another little spot where I got a little bit of water, but hopefully we'll be able to fill that up with a little bit of polish. And again, running board, it's in an odd spot where it's probably not going to be seen, so I'm not worried about it. That gets us down to 3000. Put that aside. I'm going to take one of my clean cloths and wipe that down so we don't have any grit on there. You want to just keep using clean cloths. I buy these microfibers and I put them aside and I wash them in the washing machine, dry them, and then fold them back up and keep them in a spot where they're not getting too much, they're not exposed to the grease and stuff. So here is step number one, which is the extreme compound. This is the heaviest bit of grit that's in there. And this is the green pad, which is the heavy pad. Going in without any power first. Moving this stuff around. And I always start off on number one low. Get all your compound moved around. You're not flinging pieces of it around, you know. Then turn up. So that was the heavy grit. And as you can see from just that amount of buffing, we're almost where we want to be. The secret is the sandpaper, getting it down to that 3,000 grit or even harder. It's like a 4,000 grit or whatever. So the finer you have those sanding scratches, the easier they're going to be to take out. If you, let's say, use something very heavy like a 220 sandpaper, that's like, you might as well take a knife and just scratch all up, because you're probably not going to get that out just in buffing with polishes. So that is one shot, and we have 5 other different buffing pads to go. I'll just go one more for you, and that's the first one, the hardest one, the green. I'll go one more. So the second pad is the yellow, which is coarse but not as coarse as the green, and you can probably almost see the difference. You know, I'm trying to show you in the camera how heavy that is, and then this is a little bit lighter, and they go down to something that's very, very soft, almost like a very just soft rubber for polishing. So we're working our way down. So this is the second grade of compound. This is, you know, for paint correction they call it. So I'll put a few dabs on there. Put our pad on. And this is a torque oscillating sander. You know, I was using some cheaper models and they just did not do the job. Something like this. This really, you know, oscillates and buffs it out. And twice the speed of the cheaper models that you can buy at, you know, some of these big box stores. So here we go. Again, I'm starting off on 1, and then I'll go faster from there. So on 1, we're just moving our compound around, so we're not throwing big chunks around the room. this off, and it's not about, you're not pushing down on that thing. You're kind of just a little light hand pressure, and you're letting the machine do the work. It's all about time. You've got to be patient and put a lot of time in and just, you know, polish away and think about sitting on the beach, because it's not going to go fast. I do have a spot right there, which was from, that's a weld bead that I never got off of there. And so all I'm going to do down the road here is I'm just going to take a little brush and some paint, the black paint, and just dab that. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not digging in deep. It's not a big deal, again, on the running board, and nobody will see it once we dab it. So let me take the camera out. So there you have it. That's just two. You see there's just a little bit of haze on there, and that's I'm on the second grit of polish. So after you go through 5 grits, you know, it comes out absolutely flawless. So, you know, I'm very happy with what it looks like right now. It's kind of hard to show exactly, but it looks really good from what we started with, and the sanding. So there you can see it has a nice shine to it already. So I'm going to take and go through this whole thing and clean it all up, shine it up, get it ready to install on the other side. And this is what we're going to wind up with. Here's the car. I love the black against the candy apple, and it's going to be pretty classy. I did get a whole box of parts in for the motor, so we can get working on that, but I've got to get through the paint here, and then we'll go there. So anyways, guys and gals, that's where we are for now. On behalf of me and old Earl, thanks for coming back. Say goodbye, Earl. Goodbye, Earl. Everybody have a great day. Say hi to Frank. Halloween's coming. So anyway, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Sun's coming out. It's around noontime now, and I'm going to get all these things done today, and we'll get another video to you real soon. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and talk to you soon.